Alright, welcome back to the channel. Warhammer Man back in the studio, and today I've got a custom kill team game board. So obviously wanted to do something a little bit different, create kind of my own kill zone. I'm a big fan of the Zone Mortalis terrain, so I went ahead and pieced a little something together. If you're not familiar with what I got going on right here, this is the gang stronghold. Quite a bit of pieces from that. Just kind of arranged around a couple different places, and then I have like two of the just regular pillars from the regular set as well. So, all right, so here we've got the gang stronghold set up. This is the Necromunda Zone Mortalis like expansion. It's basically to like build a little base on your like Necromunda terrain. Completely compatible with the Zone Mortalis stuff. You can see I actually have two of the regular Zone Mortalis like pillars in there as well. Started off with like one set. I didn't build like the gunk tank or the big like spy tower, but ended up with about like 1.5 sets of the stuff here. So a couple of customized pieces, but overall just like your regular bits. The railings are all removable. A lot of the pieces like vary as well. There's definitely like some cool variances. The way this stuff attaches, the way you can kind of like combine it and then integrate it with the regular Zone Mortalis stuff as well is awesome. So let's kind of take a look at some of the pieces and some of the components and different ways that you can like kind of build this and customize it. We'll see obviously if it's if it's for you, if you like it, if it's something you'd be interested in. I think a lot of people had taken a look at the Kill Team chalnath set. Aren't a huge fan of like the old Imperial ruins. I personally like that terrain. I know a lot of people really didn't like the orc terrain, just because it's like orc themed and maybe they don't have an orc army or they're not interested in it. So I just wanted to have like some sort of viable option. So in this case, I basically just started off trying to build a few pieces that would resemble the like shape and everything of the orc terrain. So you could use the like various setups and then just realize like how awesome this stuff is and how customizable it is. I picked this up a long time ago and never really messed with it. I've been real busy lately and I just needed something to kind of like mix it up. So I started messing around with it and honestly very, very impressed. Only ever saw it like built how it is on the box, and then like a couple people like basically did like unboxings or like painting guides, and they basically just built it exactly the same way too. I obviously magnetized all my Zone Mortalis stuff, so I have like complete magnetized set. I did not magnetize any of this yet, but it could easily be magnetized to like fit on. So let's kind of take a look at a couple of the pieces and kind of how it breaks down. So. All right, so there's a couple like main component pieces that kind of like make up this whole set. I chose to like glue these pieces so that everything stays together, but this is basically just your regular corner. So it's essentially like symmetrical, can attach to a wall on either side, but it makes a 90-degree corner, and then obviously has like the platform on top of it, and it's basically just like a little bunker corner piece. This is like your main staple of the set, and you basically get everything you need to build like four of these. So with this piece, you then have these, which are like your double walls. They're very similar to like the actual double walls that come in like the regular Necromunda set, and they actually have like or the Zone Mortalis set. They actually have quite a few options as well. They come with these pieces right here that you can basically like attach to the backside, and they're like gun slits. So you could like put these on here and glue them in and basically like block out 90% of the wall, and then just have like a little visual like slit kind of going through it. There's also these pieces as well, and this is like a mesh piece. So you could basically build it where you have, basically like the gun slit and the mesh piece, two gun slits, etc. But that's basically like your regular wall setup. Now you also have a bunch of other options as well. So this is your next option. This one is the same basic setup, but in this one we have basically a door that can be built into it or without it. So this gives you like just one more option where you can basically have, like a door setup. So we've got quite a few options already. This can be glued in place or just kind of like put in there, it stays decent. It doesn't have like the swivel setup of like the main set that comes with it, like little gate and everything. But this is like your, basically like your double wall piece, and then gives you a bunch of options. So then your next piece is like these guys, like the double walkways. And if you're not familiar with the regular like Zone Mortalis stuff at all, basically the way it's set up is when you have like the tile floors and you build it on the tile floors, these pieces are set up to be like 2 squares apart. So every like fourth square, or like, I don't know how you want to say it. You have like one of these. These are like the same piece. This is like your traditional set. This is like the new style. And then you have two of these in between it. So whenever you're building on like the regular tiles, you're always going to have two of these pieces in between. And then you'll have two more here and then another one of those like squares. So if you were, say, going to build, just like a structure on the regular set, like on those Zone Mortalis tiles, you would always kind of be building like this kind of square setup right there. So this is your basic like setup now, where you would have like one of the old school pieces and one of the new school pieces. But let's stay focused on what comes in the set. So this is like your basic little structure. There's a lot you can do with this structure now, but obviously the most clear thing that you can do with it is you can take one of your walls and put them in between. So in order to do that, there's like some ridges on the bottom and on the top here. And when you line these up correctly, this basically just secures to the top without glue or anything. You can obviously glue it. There's like some back pieces that can make it more sturdy, etc. But until you figure out like what you want to do, that's basically like your initial setup. So now you have two of the corners and then one of the walls in the middle with like tons of options that you can do on top of that, including we have like these little corner piece like railings that are an option. And then we have like the regular railings as well. So again, these just kind of like clip on to them. They stay pretty good. They're not going to just like fall off on their own. And you do get, I believe you get a bunch of these in the set. And then I think you get 4 of these total. So you get quite a few options. You get like some single railings like this. You get the double railings. You get like 4 of these. You get 4 of these pieces, 4 walls, etc. So that's like your basic little like structure setup. Very cool. Definitely is like kind of like trench warfare-y, with like a second level to it as well. But like it's literally endless from there. You can basically build like anything you want. So once you have, again, like your just initial setup, we'll just go back to that and we'll just show off like a couple of the different like option pieces you can build. And I did customize a couple of pieces as well. So this is if you build just a single wall. So obviously we have like our double walls, like we showed off here. This is your single wall. A single wall is basically just the assembly with either a gun port or like the mesh right there. And then the way this sets up is it just goes to the end like that, and then basically clips on to the end. And then you have options to do something like this where you have like a small bunker like kind of extension. So you can then put that on the end, and now you see you have 3 of these pieces and you've just bridged that gap back the same distance as what would have been like the double wall. So you basically built the double wall but without the second level on top of it. So you can now do like, again, the piece on top here and just have like a little bit more of an opening. Also, if you're not using like the Zone Mortalis floors, you have the option to make these pieces like as long or as short as you want. So in this case, this is not actually like the correct length of what you would need, because obviously it goes too far. So this wouldn't work on like the regular Zone Mortalis board. But you can obviously do whatever you want, kind of customize this however you want, etc. So I built a couple of these pieces because they're like some pretty cool like bunker kind of terrain. Definitely like a cool little option for like building onto it or doing like various things. Obviously you can expand on this however you want. Like literally like the way you can build this stuff is like endless. It's absolutely amazing. So the next option is you have these little guys. So if this piece right here builds a corner, if this was like your corner and you're trying to do like a 90-degree, that's like your actual like 90-degree corner, and then it has like this little piece that kind of sticks out on it. And then you could like keep building off in this direction as much as you wanted, with like the various walls, etc. And that would be like your 90-degree. You can obviously add on like ceiling tile pieces, etc. As much as you want. So these pieces are the opposite if you want to build an inside corner. So instead of like those pieces built like the 90-degree like that corner, these build like the inside corner. So you can slide one of them on the end like that, and then you can start building off like that. So this one builds, the opposite type corner. So again, if you were going to build with the walls like that, something along these lines, that gives you that option as well. As opposed to, so you now have like, what I would call an inside and an outside corner. This one goes that way, this one comes this way. So, and then again, you can do countless things with this. You can use, the wall pieces and put them right there. You can basically use two of the end pieces with like some of the various stuff right here. So like you could get rid of that inside corner. You could use one of the regular like Zone Mortalis pieces. And then you can start like, obviously building onto it. But that just kind of shows you like some of your options. And then again, if you wanted to like build that onto the corner, you could take like one of these pieces and put it on the other way as well. You could do the same thing on the other side, build like a giant T or a giant X or whatever. There's literally like unlimited configurations to build. Very, very cool set. Tons and tons of different options you can do with it. And then obviously like unlimited configurations. I did customize a couple pieces, nothing like too fancy, but basically just built a couple of like interesting pieces that I thought could or would be needed. So this is one of the ones I customized. You probably can't tell like any difference between these and what I did here, but essentially they don't come with these like single walls. This isn't an option. You have the ability to like put these pillars on here, but you don't get like the corner part like that. So this is actually one of these regular walls. I basically like hobby sawed it off like flush at the corner right there. So this is basically one of these pieces, and then I just cut it. And then what I did was I took the other half where it was cut. You can see the little piece of plastic card right in there. And then I used another piece, one of these, to make this into one as well. And the main reason I did that is because if you don't do this, you end up with just like the tall pieces and you don't get like the archway piece on here. So I wanted some short walls that had the archway pieces as well. Probably not a big deal. Probably not doing a great job explaining this. And I'm sure you probably have no idea why that's necessary if you haven't used this kit yet, but it was like a simple modification to have like short walls and long walls available as well. So really like this setup. I'm surprised that more people like haven't been, kind of showing it off. I'm surprised more people weren't like custom building it or messing around with it. There's also like the like big like Necromunda gunk tank that goes with it, which is like a big like kind of like water tower. There's also like basically like the lookout. It's like 3 stories tall. Comes with the same set. This whole set, brand new, is like $90. Like I said, this is like 1.5 of them. So I still have a ton of pieces left. Or essentially, you could just have a couple less of these pieces and get away with one of them, and you'd have like the big tower and the gunk tank as well. I think you'd be fine either way. There was just like a couple things I was still experimenting with, and I felt like just busting another one open so I could mess around with it. I really like this setup. I think this is by far one of the coolest things. I mean, all the Necromunda terrain is like amazing. I wanted like an alternative, you can get that Octarius terrain for like pretty freaking cheap. You can buy it like used online or like, from a split online for basically like 60 to $80. So I wanted something like kind of in that range. And the Gang Stronghold is like $90 brand new. So with basically just a regular discount, you can get like the Gang Stronghold set for, essentially like $75. So it's actually like not a bad deal at all. And then just the amount of stuff you can build from it and how cool it is. I actually think it might be better, arguably. And you can pretty much do anything that you want to do with this that you would be able to do with that just by assembling it different. So in this case, I specifically assembled it so that I could have like the different like L shapes and everything. So if I wanted to use like the mission book, I could build like the different sets. I would obviously say if you were going to mess around with this, that you would probably glue a lot of these pieces together and maybe just have it in like, 4 main sets. Like the top parts I would glue on to like the bottom parts, etc. But, essentially I just want to kind of show off one of the like, obviously if you have the Octarius set or if you've seen it or seen battle reports or whatever, you can basically build like one big building out of everything. And I was curious if you could kind of do the same thing with this, and you totally can. It kind of reminds me of like the Jurassic Park, like Velociraptor, like kind of cage setup, whatever. But this would basically be, the equivalence of the Octarius set if you were going that route and you were wanting to build like the one single building. You obviously have like a bunch more like railing pieces. I pretty much didn't glue anything that I didn't have to, just so I could kind of like mess around with stuff and kind of change it up as I saw fit. Left open like a bunch of doors. There's also like double level stuff. So these things like normally clip into like the regular board, but you could basically use like these bunkers on like the second level, and they kind of like fit into like the grooves of the different pieces. You have like a bunch of extra like walls and doors, like railings, etc. So you could basically build like whatever you want. Obviously have like a pretty cool like little building setup, plenty of like different walls, etc. So you could basically build like one big bunker out of it. You could build like a bunch of like different like smaller pieces out of it. Like using like the 90 degrees. You obviously have like, I built these because they're like pretty decent size, like little barricades, to kind of replicate the ones from the orc set. And then I have also like the, wall pieces. Alternatively, that's like a little 90-degree bunker type deal. So just wanted to have like a ton of different options, basically. So you could kind of make a different board for basically around the same price that offered like, say you wanted to use the book and you wanted to use like the different missions and setups and everything from it, you could easily do that with one set of this. So again, I don't have like the gunk tank built, and there's also like a big gate, and then there is a like multi-level tower. It's basically like a 3-level tower. So the gunk tank and the tower easily like replicates like kind of like the oil rig part of the Octarius set. And then without like these two little extra pillars here and like a couple other extra pieces that I added in from like a second set, you easily would have enough to replicate like the Octarius thing. So around the same price, about 90 bucks, compared to like the, 60 bucks for the Octarius stuff, like shipped online. By the time you pay like taxes, by the time you get like, your local store discount or whatever, let's say you're looking at roughly like $75. But basically for a full game like board of terrain. So this is obviously like a kill team size board, and you can see obviously this is a pretty nice little bunker on the board. Takes up a ton of room, or alternatively, you could do like one of like infinite different like configurations, and also just like the limitless amount of ways you can kind of like build it and attach it and everything is like super cool. Like I said, limitless different things. You can build these so many different ways. Like you can not put a cap on the end, like one of these end caps on here, and just have this small piece right there. And then you can use that to basically attach these two pieces together. But this one already has like one built onto it, obviously. You can do, the same thing with like the 90s, like this. You can just have like unlimited configurations. So again, kind of just depending on, what you were going for, and kind of like once you mess around with it a little bit and kind of see what you like and how you want it to be, you could start like gluing stuff. And then this would be like a lot less like, kind of finicky. Right now, obviously, whenever I touch anything, it like comes apart. The railings like stay on here pretty good. I think definitely you would glue these pieces onto the tops, because the way they like cook on here, they like clip on pretty good. They definitely like stay on their own. But when you start like kind of pushing on them and stuff, they definitely like kind of want to like come apart. So that's what I would glue. These pieces too, you don't have to glue the tops on these, but they just like fall off on their own. And then these pieces have to rest on those tops. So you pretty much have to glue like these top pieces on. But like say if these two pieces were glued together right here, I can move these around as much as I want. I wouldn't have to worry about them being like finicky or anything. And then same thing, if I had just one more piece, like this that was glued, basically just this would clip right on here, and then this whole piece would be like pretty solid, and not like finicky. So that's probably what I would go with, if I was gonna like actually go ahead and glue them and rock them out. They also have like all the same bits that you can like magnetize them, the same way I previously did. Like same areas I could add in magnets and be able to like completely customize these. So the idea being between that is I basically added magnets onto like the top parts right here. So when I like hooked these pieces on, it was actually like magnetized in place. You could totally do that if you wanted to also, and completely be like customized and compatible. So really a big fan of this set. I didn't really like hear a ton of it, like about it. It basically was like off the site for a while and then just kind of like popped back up. Haven't messed around with this. Definitely recommend that you give it a thought. If you're one of those people that doesn't really like the orc terrain, but you really like Kill Team, this is definitely an option for you to do something a little bit different. And then also, if you're playing like Necromunda, or you like the kind of Necromunda, like kind of indoor style boards, or I mean, I think this goes really good with like the Krieg, like Deathcore of Krieg, because it kind of reminds me of like the little like trench bunkers, etc. You could definitely do like some different stuff with that as well. So highly recommend this. Just wanted to basically like take a look at it and kind of share like some of the cool things I found that you could do with it. And after kind of experimenting with it, definitely give this like set 5 stars. I think it's absolutely amazing. Definitely a huge fan of it. And the unlimited like configurations you could do with it. Should have probably put together like the little perch and the gunk tank as well. Just kind of show those off. And then there's also like that swinging door, but just didn't really mess with it. So, but you can see essentially you can get the point across pretty well, and like some of the different options you have, some of the different ways you could build it. Whether you want to customize like your little walls like I did, or you just want to build it as is, like out of the kit. Either way is completely fine. But I'm definitely a big fan of this set. Highly recommend it, and wish I would have busted it out sooner. It's crazy how long it's out there. I mean, not that I haven't been busy or whatever, but you can kind of see how it goes together. And again, with this set, there's about 1.5 sets. And then these 2 pieces are from like your regular Necromunda like standard set. But overall, I mean, you could build 90, well, probably 75% of this just with like one of these out of the box. And then you would also have like a bunch of other like cool stuff that I'm not showing off right here. So if you're looking for something different, if you're looking for a nice Kill Team set for, around the same price as the Octarius set, I think for what you get value-wise for this set, I think if you can pick it up for $90, you can get it like 15% off. That comes out to like what, 14 bucks. So you're looking at basically like $70 for this. Maybe get it 20% off. I think for around the same price, under $100, you get a nice full set of terrain, multi-level like sniper perch, a bunch of cool barricades, tons of customizable stuff, and like a ridiculous amount of extra bits left over, and endless ability to customize this however you want. So I have to give it 5 stars. I think this set is absolutely phenomenal. I'm surprised that I didn't see like reviews or like other people talking about how cool this set is previously. If I did, I probably would have busted it out sooner. So even though this has been out for a long time, I just figured that I would kind of, show people what I found with it, and like how many cool options there were, because I felt like it kind of got overlooked. Maybe there's like a bunch of other people out there like rocking this set out and just not telling anybody about it. But I really feel like it got overlooked, maybe because it went out of stock like so quickly in the beginning. But it is back now. You can get it easily, and you get it for a good price. And I think it makes really good Kill Team terrain set. So, but that's it for today. Custom kill zone using the Necromunda Gang Stronghold set that you can pick up for about like $75 roughly. And you're not going to get a larger amount of cool terrain for a cheaper price, I don't think. I couldn't think of anything else where you get, I mean, like the actual box is so heavy and it is just loaded up with stuff. So check it out, consider it. I could probably do a video where I only use like the stuff from one set and maybe like build the gunk tank and everything like that. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. Let me know if you think this stuff is cool. Also, you can get like some of these if you don't have them already. I like them because, obviously with the way the new Kill Team rules are, you don't have to worry about it as much to just have like solid structures, because you can be behind it and still like not be able to be like shot or whatever. But I do like that these are like just a big, meaty, like thick wall, cube, whatever. Also, these allow you to like stack and build multiple levels, but they like stack and then like go into the grooves like that. So you can easily build like multi-level setups. And then also on top of that, the way these like clip into place, you can have this clip into it. You can have that clip onto that. And then you can actually like stack this on top and it's still like secured inside there. And then, basically you can have your guys like walking on multiple levels, etc. So definitely gives you like some cool options. I don't think I really tried to see they have like these little nubs that allow you to like stack them. These newer ones kind of have the nubs. They don't stick up quite as far, but they do like basically like fit in place. So yeah, I guess it's like completely compatible. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Definitely recommend it. So for all the people out there that are looking for a little something different that haven't checked this out yet, I definitely recommend this setup. This one doesn't come with any of the like pieces that go in between these guys right here, but a bunch of those come with like the regular sets. So if you were gonna build this out like how it is, how I have it built right now, basically, but make like a multi-level structure, you would just need like some of the other like walkways, because there's basically a bunch of pieces from the regular kill team set that like attach across this way. So you could build like a solid floor structure, or you could just put like one piece right here and it would basically like just give you a piece so you can kind of walk around that corner. Don't have any of them like right in front of me right this second, but I promise you they exist. So, but that's it. Just wanted to kind of show this stuff off, show off like some of the options that you could do with it, and just how cool this set is and how overlooked it is. I think you could really build a phenomenal set out of this stuff. And I'm curious if you've done it already. Show me your game board. Let me know what you think. And yeah, that's it, guys. I just wanted to do a quick video kind of showing this off and messing around with it. I'm currently like really busy with a bunch of stuff, but the channel has been doing great lately. I appreciate all the positivity and, letting people vent as well, because I know there has been like some backlash with Games Workshop and everything lately. But I am talking to Army Painter and going to be doing like a speed paint demo review sometime in the near future as well. You guys know I'm a big fan of the contrast paints and use those all the time. So keep your eyes out for that. Maybe I'll do some terrain with it. Everybody else is just like painting a couple little models or like a couple heads or whatever. So maybe I'll do something a little different. But yeah, just wanted to bring to you a little different video. Maybe I'll mess around and put together like some more configurations for this. Maybe like a 2D like game board, multi-level structure, and just kind of show that off. It's been a while since I bust out the old Zone Mortalis awesome game board that like I basically started this channel with. I love it, and I just have not gotten to mess with it that much. So maybe it's time to bust that out as well. But I brought back the lights, brought back a couple pieces of it. But that's it for today. I'm definitely getting to the ramble status. So Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'm out of here.